My fellow young South Africans, South Africa is a country, and a country has borders. Any first-year politics student knows this. As a country, we have the right and the responsibility to determine who may enter our country and how they may enter our country. As a young person, I live in a country where I am constantly reminded that there aren't enough jobs, there aren't enough places at university, and there is not enough funds to provide affordable education. If we are honest, the South African government is not able to fulfill its mandate to the South African people because of massive inequality, the legacy of our past, and corruption. And yet, millions of people come through our borders without any form of control. Our government needs to stop being a government of the world and being a government for the South African people. We face an illegal immigration crisis. We must not be ashamed or afraid to call it what it is, and we must never be silenced by people who label us because we insist on our laws being implemented. That there are violent contestations between South African and foreign traders in our neighborhoods and townships every other week or month shows that there is a crisis. But the truth is that this crisis is being fueled by our national government, which does not manage our borders, does not document people in our country, and does not deliver adequately to its own people. It's a recipe for disaster, it's a recipe for violence. I would like to be very clear about this, because we are not a xenophobic organization, as some have wrongly claimed. It is our government that is to blame for this situation, not the people who come to our country out of desperation. We have no quarrel with those who seek a better life in our country. We ourselves seek a better life in our country. While many of these people are good people, seeking refuge from tyrannical and failed governments, some are not. South Africa is now seen as a weak target by international criminal syndicates. Whether it is drug smuggling, child trafficking, or just plain criminality, people come across our borders every day undetected, many to commit crime in South Africa. They take advantage of our non-existent borders, weak criminal justice, and the South African people. Our country has some of the highest crime rates in the world. Our police are incapable of arresting criminals, and the NPA fails to put criminals in jail. We need to combat South African criminals without the added complexity of having to combat criminals from other countries. Every South African that is murdered, raped, robbed, mugged, or dealt drugs to by a person who entered into our country illegally is a crime that should not have happened, and their blood and their tears are on the hands of our government. Why is this an issue to young people of the country? It is simply about resources and safety, limited resources, and a generally inept security cluster. A government's first duty is to ensure the well-being and prosperity of its people. Its resources must benefit its people. Its people must be kept safe, and it must be able to account for everyone who is within its borders. Even on a plane, you are told that in the case of an emergency, you must ensure that you put on your own mask or vest before assisting the person next to you. A battle for resources in South Africa cannot result in South Africans drawing the short straw. South Africans must come first, and then we can support our neighbors and friends from other countries. I am proud that ActionSA and the People's Dialogue before it are at the forefront of pushing for South Africans to be put first. That other parties like the Teletubbies have come around to supporting this position is welcome, even if it is overdue. Clearly, where we have led, they are following. The simple fact is that if managing immigration is difficult enough in first world countries, how much more in the world's most unequal society? How much more in a country where billions of its resources and wealth have been looted by the governing party's cronies? Which country is now at the brink of collapse? How much more in a country which is staring at an unemployment rate of over 30%, where youth unemployment is hovering around the 60% mark? A government that is not interested in putting the interests of its people first is an unworthy government and must urgently be removed from office. Friends, you will know that Herman Mashaba has a history of leading on this front, even when it has pit him against the national government. He has fought this fight and never backed down when people attacked him for insisting that our laws be implemented. As ActionSA, we offer solutions to this crisis. Chiefly, we will act as one to firstly strengthen our border security by improving the physical infrastructure protecting our sovereign borders. Secondly, we will reform the Department of Home Affairs by eradicating corruption, improving the performance of immigration officials, and modernizing immigration infrastructure. Thirdly, we will overhaul the regulations to streamline the process of legally migrating to South Africa while limiting certain categories of jobs for South African citizens and ensuring a strict but fair immigration system. Fourthly, we will attract skilled immigrants to help our economy grow with a focus on teachers, scientists, medical professionals, and entrepreneurs. Fifthly, we will relax the regulations for tourist visas, adopt an online visa on arrival system, and improve the performance of embassies in states that have a high volume of South African-bound tourists. These are just some of our solutions to this crisis. We have many more. Young people of South Africa are fast losing hope in the democratic project. But as young people leading in the organization, we are ready to act as one for the benefit of young people of our country. Thank you.